Welcome to It's Happening. My name is Jared. Today's story is only the biggest scandal in United States history. I'm going to hit on today. I'm going to show you some of the new things that have been coming up with the Hunter case. And let's not forget, this is not about Hunter Biden. Did it start with Hunter Biden because of his ignorance and stupidity? Absolutely. But this is not about Hunter Biden. And the Democrats know that, and the media knows that, and that's why they do not want this story to go any further. And that's why they are throwing him such a sweetheart deal right now. So they can say, oh, look at us. We're equal justice under the law. We've indicted a Republican and a Democrat. Only the sweetheart deal they've given him sure wouldn't give it to me, and they sure wouldn't give it to all the minorities who break the same laws and end up in prison for 5 to 10 years. The same party who talks about white privilege and white people getting special treatment when it comes to the justice system just handed their white family the exact thing that they complain about. And now they want us to shut up about it. So let's get into today. I'm going to share some stuff with you guys today. I'm going to share some videos. I'm going to share some links talking about it, and we'll discuss it. I do want to get into one point of this, and a lot of you who have been following me already know my history, and I have no issue admitting my responsibility, and I had to do time because I'm a recovered heroin addict, and when I was younger, I made a lot of bad choices. And I broke the law. Now, when the law found out I was an addict, they used that against me to try and give me more time. So it's kind of odd watching the media and all the Democrats come out and talk about, oh, poor Hunter and his addiction, poor this, poor that. Oh, they're just picking on Hunter because of his addiction. Nobody's picking on Hunter because of his addiction, but I do find it funny that that's the only thing you want to focus on. And I wasn't even going to bring this up, but now that I'm thinking about it, so let's go that route. Hunter Biden is an addict, and poor Hunter Biden. How does that make you feel to know that his family, famous family who's running this country, used their own son and his addiction so they could launder money, so they could bribery charges? And yes, these are all allegations. There's a lot of proof that is lining up with that. And that's why I believe they're offering him this sweetheart deal with other reasons. But I do find it interesting to watch the Democrat Party and over time and the things that they claim they stand for and how fast they revert on that and they go back to the complete opposite of what they claim they're fighting for. All right, so let's get into it. This first link I'm going to pull up for you guys is a CNN link. And I do try to share from different links and different points of view to show y'all things. Yes, I am an opinion guy, but I do try my best to show y'all from different places so you can decide for yourself as well. And you should always dig into these stories more and not just listen to any one of us, not any media, not anybody. Look for yourself. Always look for yourself. All right, so let me pull this up for you guys. This is, remember I said that this is the CNN one. Where'd it go? Well, dang it. There it is. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, yeah, and this will be my last video on this software that I'm using. I'm fixing to switch, and I'll be learning a little bit more. So I truly appreciate the patience from all of y'all, and I can't wait to bring y'all higher quality videos. All right, so this is the CNN link. Hunter Biden to plead guilty to federal tax charges, strikes deal on gun charge. How about that? Let's read a little bit here. Let's just go ahead and play it.
If your child has diabetes, you'll love how easy Dexcom G7 is. It's on, And he's off. You can see his glucose numbers right on your phone, so you can always be there for him with Dexcom G7.
Christopher Clark is Hunter's attorney, who he's been dealing with this case now for several years. And he just issued a statement that describes the outlines of what we've been talking about. What he says is with the announcement of 2 agreements between my client, Hunter Biden, and the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Delaware, it is my understanding that the 5-year investigation into Hunter is resolved. That is the key sentence right there. It is my understanding that the 5-year investigation into Hunter is resolved. Hunter will take responsibility for 2 instances of misdemeanor failure to file tax payments when due to a plea agreement. The firearm charge will be subject to a pretrial diversion agreement and will not be subject to the plea agreement, but will also be filed by the government. Here's also what he says about Hunter. He says, I know Hunter believes it is important to take responsibility for these mistakes he made during a period of turmoil and addiction in his life. He looks forward to continuing his recovery and moving forward. Of course, again, the key operative parts of that statement are that at least in their discussions with prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office, again, this is a U.S. Attorney, David Weiss, who was appointed by Donald Trump, kept on in this job to oversee this investigation. This deal.
All right, I'll stop there for just a second with him. Dang it, it didn't cut off. Sorry about that. I'm going to stop right there just for him. I love how they're framing this. He's doing the right thing, and he's turning himself in. He's admitting his fault. That's funny because for the past few years, they've done nothing but lie about the whole thing and manipulate it. And now they're giving him a sweetheart deal. So while we're talking about his sweetheart deal, why don't we go ahead and compare his deal to someone else's with very, very, very similar charges. So let's pull this up. All right, this is the New York Post. Rapper Kodak Black's lawyer decries 2 tiers of justice after Hunter Biden plea deal. That I would have to agree with him on. Let's see what he has to say.
Ability to refuse material.
Sorry about that. Let me start it over. I don't know if y'all heard it or not.
If this is indeed closed, then the Department of Justice is going to have less of an ability to refuse material to Congress because they will not have an ongoing criminal investigation involving Hunter Biden.
We have a new statement in just now from the Oversight Committee Chairman, James Comer. I want to read it to you, and it leads to a question. He says, let's be clear, the DOJ's charges against President Biden's son, Hunter, reveal a 2-tiered system of justice. Hunter Biden is getting away with a slap on the wrist when growing evidence uncovered by the House Oversight Committee reveals the Bidens engaged in a pattern of corruption, influence peddling, and possibly bribery. These charges against Hunter Biden and sweetheart plea deal have no impact on the Oversight Committee's investigation. We will not rest until the full extent of President Biden's involvement in the family schemes are revealed. Professor, do you think it is possible that as Hunter Biden's new legal team was looking at the evidence that was coming out of the House Oversight Committee's investigation, led them to tell Hunter Biden, you would be best advised to take these pleas now because it could only get worse?
All right. Oh, no. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. This system. This is why I can't wait to get my new one. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so you see that there absolutely is a 2-tier justice system in this country, and I wouldn't even call it 2-tier, really. I mean, it's unbelievable the difference, and depending on what your last name might be, or if there's an R next to your name or a D next to your name, what actually happens. And let's not forget, this all connects back to Joe Biden when he was vice president. And that's why this is so much more of a bigger deal. They're trying to sweep that under the rug so you won't look at what daddy did anymore, the big guy did anymore, and what he is still doing to cover for his son, like he always has, because he's so proud of it. So I'm going to pull up another thing and show you guys just what I mean by he is still interfering. Let's see here. All right, this is from, sorry, did it work? There we go. All right. From the New York Post, Biden DOJ ran interference for first son Hunter and tax fraud probe. IRS whistleblowers say in bombshell testimony. Let's hear what Comer has to say, and I'll read a little bit of that.
The House Oversight Committee will continue to press forward. We're following the flow of money that's coming from foreign nationals all across the globe through the shell companies that the president's family started, that then is laundered down to the Biden family members. And unfortunately for Joe Biden, his son is one of the ringleaders and is apparently designed to be the fall guy for this. So the president's son may have gotten off with a slap on the wrist by the Department of Justice, but the investigation by the House Oversight Committee on Joe Biden and his influence peddling will move forward.
All right, so 2 IRS whistleblowers told Congress in closed-door testimony released Thursday that the Justice Department waged a cover-up in the tax fraud investigation of the first son, Hunter Biden, revealing stunning details of alleged interference and new evidence indicting President Biden was involved in his son's foreign dealings. Among the shocking details made public by the White House and Marines Committee, the Hunter Biden probe was opened in November 2018 off the back of an investigation the IRS was conducting of a foreign-based amateur online pornography platform, according to the whistleblower. The first son was given the code name Sportsman by investigators. Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss sought to bring federal charges against Hunter, 53, in the Central District of California and Washington, D.C. last year and was denied both times by the Biden-appointed U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada and Matthew Graves, respectively. According to the second whistleblower, who has remained anonymous, the investigation covered the years of 2014 through 2019, during which Hunter and his associates received approximately $17.3 million from where? Ukraine, Romania, and China, with the first son alone scooping $8.3 million. It sure starts to connect a lot of dots when you see those three countries that come from, right? I mean, a lot of the things that are going on right now connects back to all of this. It's a massive scandal, and they're doing everything they can possibly to cover it up and get you to only focus on Trump, aliens, submarines, anything they possibly can to not let you see just how crooked this uniparty actually is, and especially the Democrat Party. They're the leaders of it. The Republicans are just cowards and go along with them most of the time. Half of them are sold out and are Democrats themselves. Anyway, it's mind-blowing to watch some of the media today and act as if, you know, Hunter's doing the right thing, and this is not connected. This is only on this, so this is only on that. It's unbelievable because they've been going after Trump now for how long and have been wrong on so much, and now finally it looks like they're going to have something on him. I mean, my goodness, they had to force it to happen. They're having evidence left and right fall in their lap for Hunter and Joe Biden, and all they're doing is covering it up and help covering it up. And I'm going to show you another part where they have known this for a lot longer than what we were told initially. They knew that this laptop was real way before it ever even came out. So all of this is planned. I mean, how deep this goes, it's just mind-blowing that there were so many people just willing to go along with this. Now, I realize that there are life-threatening circumstances as well that go along with this. So, and even the FBI admitted that the other day. But hey, no, it's honest Joe, right? The Democrat Party cares about you. So this next one I'm going to share is to show y'all some more on just how Biden's DOJ is helping his son and helping cover up that case. All right. So here, This is on the Federalist. The FBI knew Hunter Biden's laptop was authentic a year before pressuring big tech to censor it. My goodness. The FBI allegedly knew Hunter Biden's laptop was authentic nearly a year before they pressured big tech platforms to censor the New York Post reporting on it in the 2020 election. In his remarks before the House Ways and Means Committee, IRS whistleblower Gary Shapley testified that the FBI verified the authenticity of Hunter's laptop in November of 2019, a month after the agency became aware of the laptop's existence and allegations that its contents potentially contained evidence of a crime. According to Shapley, the FBI purportedly authenticated that computer by matching the device number against Hunter Biden's Apple iCloud ID. This all just makes it that much more aggravating that the sweetheart deal they're giving. It's like a slap in the face to every one of us, to every American, no matter what side you're on. Remember the lengths they went to go to manipulate this country and to believe in this was fake and a Russia hoax. And they knew a year before. And I'm sorry, if I was one of y'all, one of the people who believed this story, who actually went and voted in 2020 based on the fact that I was told that this was a lie, and now I'm finding out that not only was it real, but they knew it was real and authentic a year before. At what point do we say enough's enough? I mean, seriously, at what point do we stop and look at everything that's going on and say, okay, how do we, the people, come together and shut this down? There is so much corruption going on. It's mind-blowing. It really is. This is like watching one of what's her name's TV series, The Scandal. I wonder if she's going to make a new season on the Bidens, because she could definitely do a hell of a season on that. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Let's see here, guys. So this one, I'm going to play a video, and I think it's very important because of who it is, the bill he's talking about, and doing the exact opposites with his own son. You got to check this video out because it's very important to remember who created these bills to begin with. Because don't forget, the Democrats love to convince you that people like me are bigots, that we're racist, that we're sexist, that we're homophobic, that we're this or that, phobic this, phobic that, phobic, whatever the term of the week is. They always want you to think that's us. It doesn't take long, and I am going to do a video on the history of the Democrat Party, but it doesn't take long to see the truth. Just check this stuff out. I mean, and this makes it that much more mind-blowing. Like I said, the more you dig on this story, the more you can't believe it's actually happening. I can understand why some people out there are like, no, this is not real. It can't be happening. Or that's a conspiracy. This has to be a conspiracy. I mean, really? Oh, no, man. So, but yeah, thank you guys for being patient with me while I'm waiting to get my other stuff. I truly appreciate the support you guys have been giving me. And I am working very hard to try and bring y'all the best content I can and the best stories I can. And I will also, yeah, if y'all ever have any stories that y'all want me to research and do a story on, let's talk about it. I'm definitely interested. So let's watch old Joe here back in 1994.
Very straightforward and simple. He knows there are two basic steps here. One step is you must take back the streets. And you take back the streets by more cops, more prisons, more physical protection for the people. He also understands what my friend from Texas understands, and he doesn't talk a lot about, but he signed on to in this bill. He also understands there's a need to keep people who are first-time offenders who are nonviolent offenders or who are potential first-time offenders who haven't gotten, I yield myself an additional 3 minutes, who in fact are people who are getting themselves into the crime stream for the first time, that they should be diverted from the system. So I hope this crime bill, when it passes, the Biden-Hatch crime bill, as it becomes law, God willing, I hope that we will have ended once and for all this notion that is a hangover from the 60s, that somehow Democrats are weak on crime and Democratic presidents are weak on crime and Republicans are tough on crime. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware.
Democrat voters, there you go right there. He just said it. Remember, every crime bill they created. How does that make y'all feel about the ones who think they're over-jailed too much?
Where Joe Biden on that bill and has had a majority votes of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill. So one of the things I want to do in addition to end the crime is end the political carnage that goes on when we talk about crime. Crime is not Democrat or Republican. Making the streets safe is not a Democratic or Republican issue. This is one of those issues I hope this passage of this bill will be taken out of the gridlock category and moved into an emerging consensus. And the consensus is as follows, and I will cease when I finish this statement. The consensus is, A, we must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether.
Did you hear that? You hear that? Yeah.
Whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society.
Minorities, are you paying attention? I mean, they're laying it out for you all right here.
It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that. The Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee, the Democratic president of the United States of America, the Democratic attorney general, the Republican leader of this effort, Senator Hatch, the Republican senator from Texas. We all agree on that. Now,
they all agree on that. Remember that.
We can find some fringe folks in the study groups on the right wing and left wing, libertarians and left wingers in my party who say, no, that's not what we should do. But politically, that consensus has been arrived at. I acknowledge there was not that consensus in the 60s. There is today. There's a second thing that we all have agreed upon, and that is unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now, not out of a liberal instinct for love, brother, and humanity, although I think that's a good instinct, but for simple, pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society.
There it is, folks. That's all you have to see right there. I mean, the Democrats have always been this way. It's who they've always been. They're very good at manipulating you into believing they actually care about you, while they are just using you to get what they need, and then they'll stomp all over you right after. Joe Biden has been doing it since he's been in office for the past 135 years. I mean, my goodness. I'm going to show y'all one more video. And this is this was their business partner. And remember, this was also before the election that the liberal media ignored and others ignored. So to recap on all of this, the FBI knew ahead of time. They've known. The CIA knew. A lot of the Democrats knew. A lot of the Republicans knew. Whistleblowers have been being attacked. Been being chased down. I mean, unbelievable what's been going on with this. They have video of Hunter brandishing that gun. That alone shouldn't give him the opportunity to go into this program that he's going into. I meant to pull that up for y'all. You should look into that, because in the law itself, the law he broke itself, the way it's written, the program that they're placing him in, he doesn't qualify for it because he was brandishing the gun. But then again, he is a white Democrat. So, but yeah, so this, I'm gonna leave it with one more video for you guys. Remember, this was their partner, and they were warning ahead of time. And yeah, this is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let me pull this up because it's been a while.
On May 13th, 2017, I received an email concerning allocation of equity, which says 10% held by H for the big guy. In that email, there's no question that H stands for Hunter, big guy for his father, Joe Biden, and Jim for Jim Biden. In fact, Hunter often referred to his father as the big guy or my chairman. On numerous occasions, it was made clear to me that Joe Biden's involvement was not to be mentioned in writing, but only face-to-face. In fact, I was advised by Gilliard and Walker that Hunter and Jim Biden were paranoid about keeping Joe Biden's involvement secret.
All right. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Sorry about that, guys. My computer, like I said, I'm fixing this new program. That's so messed up. Anyways, thank you guys for being patient with me. That was his business partner, and that was before the election, and they did everything they could to destroy him. This story goes so deep. I guarantee you we'll be doing more stories on it. And please, please remember it's happening, and to look for yourself. Thank y'all again for being patient with me while I work on getting my equipment and getting better at doing this all together. Thank you for supporting my page. If you would like this video and share this video, comment, tag some friends, help support a small business that's up and coming. Thank you guys. And remember, it is happening.